I guess I'll sort of open it up here for any quick discussions or comments on those of you that have gone through positioning, thoughts, calls. You sort of had some thoughts on Dustin, but anyone on the phone or anything want to share any of their thoughts on your feedback coming out of the book Positioning Calls, or questions you might have had coming out of it? Anyone on the screen have any comments or questions?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good.
The position call I thought was dope because I was sort of like, there were so many angles I could go with the book, but I think with the new title, Dating Yourself, the importance of individual happiness before entering a relationship, that was so impactful. And when I was talking to people, even my editor, she was like, wow, there's like a smile on your face. You seem so much more enthusiastic about this angle. And I was like, yeah, because I feel like the fact that I can insert like positivity and self-happiness, like that's so important to me. But also I think that's so important before entering a relationship, because when you enter a relationship, you're also exchanging habits, you're exchanging, lifestyles. So it's really important to look at yourself before, being in a partnership with someone else.
Good. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what the goal is to sort of, you may not exactly see the bigger idea behind your book and what you write out there. And so my job is to sort of be able to, you're in the weeds of it, right? And Matthew, in that case, he's in the weeds of what his topic was, and again, sort of had rabbit holed on a few things. And what I'm typically listening for is, where is there something that, again, fits within your broader goals and aims for the book, plus at the same token, it has something that is novel and unique. And so some of these angles here where you may hear something from me and sort of say, hey, listen, I think you might be onto something, but you may have to twist it around or change it a little bit, can be powerful. So it's oftentimes in the framing those sorts of things that I'm trying to do. So again, remember, my goal is not to be prescriptive. My goal is to sort of take what you have and play it back to you in a way that could work. But if you decide it doesn't fit or tweak and change, that's totally okay. It's not necessarily a one sort of, you have to do this one. It's feedback that can help you in those sorts of regards. So that's good to sort of fit with that way. And again, I like to sort of, oftentimes it's a little bit of like Jedi mind trick stuff. You've been sort of doing all these things, and now we can look at the book holistically and say, hey, listen, this is actually the book that you've been trying to write all along. Other comments from anyone?
Yeah, I think for me, for my book, like going through all the different ideas, ever since we had that conversation, it's kind of been like absorbing what we talked about and kind of realizing if that's like really like the direction I want to go towards, or like that's really like what I meant to be going it towards. So I don't know. I think I've been going into this like phase of like absorbing a little bit about what we talked about.
And that's also a good one, Juliet. I think the other part that I would sort of say in that one, so the idea is, you might come out of your call, and so Dustin came out of it and was like, I'm going to write this introduction, this is what I want to do, which is great. And I think that fits in some way. Matthew sort of the same. And Juliet was like, all right, like I had a bunch of things. I want to make sure that this is where I want to go. And so my advice on that one is think about it for sure, but spend some time trying to write and put some thoughts down and see how it feels to actually sort of manifest that thought. And what you may find is that it changes a little bit. Oftentimes when you play it back to your editor, that will help you a bit. But absorb it, think about it. And again, I think the most important thing is to try it on for size. When you come out of it and you sort of have the introduction and you have the pieces of it, does it feel authentic to the book that you want to put out there? And most importantly is that. I will give you feedback based on what I know, but at the end of the day, it's your book, and I want you to be super excited about it. So I think that idea of absorbing it, processing it is good. Make sure you make that actionable so you sort of see, how does this feel? And if you write a first draft of the introduction, it feels off or wrong or not what you were hoping for, then great. Go back to the well and sort of see where it comes out again. Other comments from anyone else? All right, so I think where you guys are at, again, is a good place, and I think the three examples here that you guys mentioned from Dustin, Matthew, and Juliet are really good examples of where you should be. I think just to sort of try it on for size. And I think, again, what we're going to be talking about here tonight a little bit is this idea of introductions. I'm going to give you some more details of it. Hopefully you put together a first pass of your introduction coming out of this call. But the most important thing is that, again, I think Juliet has shared it, is that this really is the thing that sets the stage for the whole book. So don't be surprised if you keep tweaking it, turning it. This is one of those things that I would say is probably where I spend the most of my time reviewing people's work, saying, all right, is Dustin making the case that he wants? Is Omero making the case that he wants? And so the more you can sort of focus on that one, the better.